Oh, hey, it's been a long time, but we're back to space engineers learning to space engineer. Um, yeah, it's been a really long time, like particularly for the stream over a month, and then I was even late today, but I guess better late than never, right? Uh, so it's been a really long time. I haven't just everything, summer, family, work, you name it. Everything's been in the way. It's not important. Let's get started. I'm gonna start off with doing some showcase into my local save, just because this is what I usually do with the learning to SC stuff, is kind of show you stuff that I do in my spare time. We're starting out on a new save that I started, which isn't new to me. I've been running it for a while, which you'll soon see. I'm in a base right now on the Earth planet, and I'll go outside and show you first. So I've become a big fan recently of, for those who watch my Frostbite stuff, of this style of docking for my rovers and stuff like that, the overhead connector thing. I just like how it looks. This is a rover that I was traveling long distance, so I jerry rigged some thrusters on it to get it through some rough terrain. This is my minor rover, which it's about 80% there, 90% there. I just haven't put it on the workshop or anything like that because it still runs into some clang issues. It's not easily reprintable because of the rotors it uses, but so I haven't worked that quite out yet. But this is my Earth base, and key features here is it's got this 2-floor kind of admin building here, with their front admin entryway. Nothing great in colors, and it's got a cafeteria over here, usual nice thing. And then back here you have your lockers. This is kind of like the workers area because this is actually a shipbuilding site. So that's for the workers, and then medical over here. And if you were to take this door, it takes you back to the entry. Go up to the second floor. Really just kind of a lounge landing area. And then we go into here, and this is more of kind of like an operations center. I've gotten running inventory managers and the automatic displays, and then you have server room running the new style of program blocks. I love these so much. I don't know why I would ever use anything but and just work as even decorative. And then you have our planning admin room, and you have a little like walkway where you can be overseen by administrative staff if you want. So that's the inside of that building. Moreover, what I kind of do with this place, and this is what I do with a lot of what this save really started out as. Oh, missed the door. This is the door I want. What I do with these saves a lot of times is that it's a combination of shipbuilding and research station. So out here is where you have like the platform that you would use for just a grid for connecting a ship and building a ship. You have 2 different connectors to start with. We have the massive amount of cargo available, but over here is where I always have like a research and development garage. That's kind of what's going on here. I can't tell you what kind of research, it's secret. But needless to say, this is like my research room. Before I even start kind of designing stuff, particularly if I'm doing it survival, I'll build a research base and then do research there. And then off in the distance is just like my usual kind of mining outpost kind of things. This is an iron mine, so it's painted red, and again using that overhead connector kind of thing. But this thing is probably, because it's red, it's chock full of, well, it's got chock full of ice. It's probably not chock full. At one time it was chock full of iron, but it's not now, just because I've used it. You can kind of see it down here. Ready to, if I need more iron, it's ready to go. And then I have a little cobalt one over here, which is probably out of, well, it might not be out of power, but you can see it's even still processing a butt ton of cobalt. Yeah, but that's what we have on Earth. The next thing I'm going to show is what happens when I went to space, and the thing I've been working on there. So let's park this guy. Let's find it important to, actually I don't need to park this one, so we'll just go here and then do it the old-fashioned way. We'll just find it in the list here. This one, and we'll Control S, and so now this one, if I find it, is kind of huge. This is the kind of a space dock. Now, I didn't design this. I'm gonna be completely upfront. This is just a tweak on an existing blueprint. And if I F10 and I go dock, you can see this is actually based on WCO Dockyard SPP 102. You can find it on the you can open up the workshop and you'll see it here. This is the original, and all I did was make a few modifications. This thing can dock a lot of ships, and this is obviously part of some other, you know, is designed specifically for whatever's going on in here. But I like the really spread out aspect of it. What I've done with my modification of this is, back to the game, the whole station just had this one little control room area over here. It's nice, you got like some lockers and stuff like that, and then little cafeteria area and survival kit, and go upstairs and you got berthing for 2 and some seating and stuff like that. All fine and good, but I need control, man. I need to know what's going on, you know, especially for this. Like, I was gonna put in a tower, and I was like, I'm kind of over the whole tower thing. So instead I just put in a operations office over here, you know, trying to keep somewhat of the similar design and stuff like that. But then you go in here, and then this is like the operations room. It's keeping track of different, you know, materials and what have you. But we'll get out of here, and you'll see if I back this off, this thing is wicked huge and a lot of solar panels. But it's, what's great about it, it's like, it's one of my favorite. I've had problems building with coming up with designs with space stations. So, and this gets back to one of the things I've talked about in the past, so that you guys can get some scale. I'm flying around it. Like, yeah, that's really long. Um, One of the problems I have is I just can't really wrap my head around a design aesthetic and stuff like that. And so one of the things that I've done, which is to, and you can see right here, I take someone else's stuff and I tweak on it, stuff like that. But going forward, I can now use this is kind of a where to get my head around it so that when I want to build a custom one in the future, because one of the things that I always talk about how I work with stuff is that I have a tendency to use a couple different kind of like approaches, and with bases in particular, like I can do ground bases okay, but the space ones always tend to, I don't like them because they always end up very squashed. And this is just a prime example of not squashed. It's very spread out. I love these big long walkways. Like, it takes you a while to walk up and through one of these, and I kind of dig that fact about it. Like, to kind of get anywhere in this dock port, it takes you a while if you're walking. And that's kind of what you're looking for. It's looking big and sizable without taking a whole lot of box, because it's just thin and spread out, and it's something that I have to, an aesthetic I have to myself work on. So that's that. And well, of course we can't leave here without looking at least one ship, and the current ship that I'm working on is over here. Because I remember what I called it. It's not this one. That's not even a thing. That's it. Centaurus. So it's well, first, while I'm in spectator mode, take a look at it from the outside. So this is why it's still kind of a work in progress. The front of it's still, in my mind, is kind of lame. I love how they come up with some new detailing around these thrusters. I love that I've made this so that it's a combination of ion and hydrogen, which is a new kind of thing I've been doing with a lot of ships these days, but making this very, pointy. And a new thing that I've been doing is what I call blast shields, where it's just like, if you notice, this is just a main cell, and then it has like these blast shield extensions to it, and doing that and kind of replicating that up here, so it has, and adding a little bit of color to it, so to break it up and breaking up the patterns a little bit. Like I said, I'm still not there with the front of this yet. I gotta be with it for a while. But yeah, let's take a look inside. Large drop lights. So if you're docked up to that docking station before, and this supports both merge and connector style docking, I'm not a big fan of using the merge block docking because it makes separation, like you lose the name of your, either the base you connect to or the ship that you're connecting with. Alright, now we're inside. A lot of one of the reasons for building this is the first ship I built kind of inside then out, and with this hallway aesthetic to kind of start making it a little bit more busy, making it a little bit more what I call kit bashing or greebled, so it has a very kind of distinct look, so it's got stuff. It's not just a blank hallway. It's it's got a busy look to it. Let's slow down the walk here so we can look at it. So it's like, different alcoves. It actually, even the sounds change as you walk through it. and using a lot of the new DLC panels and stuff like that. Everything to kind of give it some more feel to it. So this is the main hallway. And then we entered in over here, and then there's a mimicked entrance over here. What I liked is also is this operations room came out really nice, and you know, very kind of busy. You look like you're in an intelligence gathering center, using the Willis ducts for actually ducting, so I don't have to have a bunch of, because one of the things you find out when you're doing large ships is that when you're doing air tightness and you have a lot of spaces, and so you're doing individual fans in each spaces, the system starts to have a hard time keeping track, and you'll start not being able to keep track of, the game itself will stop keeping track of what's airtight. But talk about the Willis ducts here is this is a Willis duct, this is the Willis duct with a little vent in it. So now the air that is being produced here is actually being pumped into here, and so that's how this room stays oxygenated. Same with this captain's office here, another one that I like because it's been roomy, and utilizing the when you utilize the interior wall block, the base one, and you flip it upside down and you use the wood grain, it kind of gives a carpeted look, so I dug that. All right. So we're gonna go across the hall. We'll start actually up here, and there's some signage, actually not on this side, it's this side. So ops galley, we have the ship's galley in here. Again, it's got some TVs, got some stuff and everything like that. I like how this also turned out, and it also feeds into the ship's berthing. Again, really liked how this kind of came about. The interiors came out really, really well. So you got your bathrooms over here, and lockers and what have you over here. Really like how that turned out. And you head down the hall farther, and you got medical. This could use some improvement. It's got some cryo chambers in it and a bed in the medical station, but I love this workshop. This is a workshop space, you know, so you can access the big cargo and then individual cargo. This is a separated O2 H2 generator and tanks that are not part of the main grid, so that way when you lose, let's say you run out of oxygen and you run out of hydrogen, you can come here and fill bottles, and that will be, as long as it's not damaged or anything like that, that will be able to fill your stuff, so you can still have hydrogen even though the ship's whole system had lost. So one of the things I try to incorporate into a lot of designs on my capital ships these days is make sure I have external sources for those things. And then we go into the reactor space. Not my finest, but not my worst. It's got a little bit. It's one of those things where you could tell it's like, okay, he's getting a little tired. So it's just running out of space, so you just throw it together. And then in the back here is where we have the hangar bay. I already have like a fighter, and so I have one ground connection, so it can either be a fighter or something else. And then two side connectors. Right now, this is where I have like some drone work that's been going on, but this one works really well. I like how this turned out as well. So it's very good. Now if I was to go out this way, actually, do I have a switch? Yeah. So hangar gates. And this is how you approach it from the back. It's got a nice way. It's really helpful, actually. I did this more in decorative, but then found out it actually has a lot of purpose, because when you're pulling a ship in here, it really helps to align it so that you get in the door without banging into stuff too much. So that worked out well. Just letting the space get at least some hydrogen. So now we're gonna go up to the main machinery room, and this is kind of like, I like this because I snaked it in, and that was purposeful. So I go into the engine room, as it were, you know, and you have some nice tables with some cargo access on either side. You go into here. This is the what I call stone processing. So these are sorters that make sure only stone goes into these basic refineries. I always talk about how I hate basic refineries because they're so inefficient, but a lot of times when you're just trying to get stone out of the way, these are phenomenal because they're inefficient, and you don't want like your system gummed up with a lot of stone. So you can turn these on, and then there's control units for it there, and then you have your assemblers set up, and then farther down is where we have our refineries with the different speed modules and stuff like that. We have 2 backup generators, always important, and a panel to kind of give us our emergency power status. So what's going on with the engines and stuff like that. We can see the engines are off right now. They're not putting out any power, but we don't need it because the batteries are fully charged. So now we head forward, and that's how we're gonna kind of head down. So we have doors on the other side, and we go around here, and then we get into a little bay up here that's got this is our emergency battery setup. These batteries are currently purposely turned off and controlled with this control unit, so that no matter what's going on with this grid, so if I lose total power, I can go up here and kick on the emergency batteries, because sometimes you might need that, because you can't turn on the emergency hydrogen engines to generate anything without having some power somewhere. And so you have like little engineering lounge here, have a crossover here, you have the engineering office in here. This is kind of like a work in progress, but I might leave it that way just because, you know, you don't get a cool snazzy office if you're working in the bilge. So this is the new combat control mod block room. Don't have a really good name for it yet. Automation room. This is just basically the gyro and antenna room. You have all cross over here. Little storage closet. I always like to have broom closets and things. Then you have like another general space here. Call it whatever, storage and stuff like that. It's just an underdeveloped room. Over here on this side we have access to, so another kind of storage room, but right here we have access. You go down here, go down this ladder, and you get access to this hatch. This hatch is for just like this, where we're docked up to, we're sitting on the ground, so that you can actually get in and out of the ship when it's not, you know, when it's in space. And so it's like you're on the ground, you're out of hydrogen, you got to get up there. You open up this door, select that ladder, and you're in.
Energy low.
Energy low. So yeah, it's a little handy little location. Finally, we'll head up to the bridge area. Pick up here. So one of the things I was trying to do with this bridge is do something that I've been wanting to do, which is have the 2-tiered seating. kind of worked out where you have the navigation and stuff up there, and these are just basically officer control decks. They can't really see out the main window so much because they're, you know, going to be looking up at the displays and what have you, for different data. So you have your airtight integrity dashboard, you have your dock dashboard, and then the different like jump charges, all that kind of data. This is your navigator, this is your gunner, and then you have the same kind of door on the other side. And then there's an interesting little side door here on either side that goes into like some battery banks in case you have to like do maintenance on the batteries or something. The final kind of thing to show on this is this actually has a secondary hangar, and it's for the crew kind of escape shuttle. So it's got that. Let's get the lights on. This should be more well lit than this. Door, hanger lights. There we go. Yeah. So this is also your, like, if you're just moored outside of a station, and then you can take this ship out to, you know, as the kind of shuttle back and forth. And it's near the bridge, so if the ship gets compromised, you can beat feet out of there. And it has a nice view down into the other corridor. So yeah, that's it. Just kind of wanted to showcase that. Little bits of aesthetic changes and everything like that to make it a little bit more fun. Alright, so that's all we're gonna kind of cover at this time. Let me go into my be right back screen as I switch saves. Let me get back to where we left off, if I can find it. It's been a really long time. It's really far down on the list. Is it this one? I think it's this one. I was running a little late, so all of the stuff I normally do, kind of pre-flight check, didn't really happen. I hope everyone's having a good summer so far. It's been unbelievably busy for me. Just so many things. As it is, I still got stuff I have to do even after the stream. Probably not a whole lot though, and I'll probably balk on it and try to do it in the morning. Which always goes well. Not really. And I'd be curious if anyone wants to kind of comment or state anything if you watch this video. If you've noticed, like, your loads, game loads taking slightly longer than they used to. I don't know if it's just me or something that I'm running that's doing it, but, alright, we're back. It's very dark. I think I forgot to turn on the lights or something. It's very stormy. Well, to recap where we were on here as best as I can, because I kind of forgot. It's been a while. Where the hell is my... Did I put in a light switch? Alright, I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. That's exterior lights, but we'll turn those on. It says all the lights are on. I guess they are. Alright. So to recap, like I said, we're on Mars. There's something 900 meters ahead. Let's check that out. We've been taking down some bases. This is probably another one. Oh, this looks like a crash ship if we were probably heading to. So let's just do a quick GPS here. Oops. Ship location. Okay, that's the original ship location. It's up there. So let's head back over here. So what we did was after doing some kind of like preliminary stuff. Oh, I was grinding this down. Against where I left off. We headed to Mars, and then when we got to Mars, and as I've been, and I didn't add any mod today because I didn't really, one, for lack of time, and two, because it's been a while, so it's just more just kind of let's get back up to speed on stuff. Alright, P. Alright, that's the one I want. You're the one that I want. Do. Also, my voice is a little off just because it's been a really busy day for and this. And let's check Bob's. Because on rovers, I tend to put them into weld only. Fly mode. Grind if weld gets stuck. That sounds good enough. Actually, I should probably check to make sure he's not working on anything. And he's got listed stuff to dismantle. Just don't know if he's doing it. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying. After we did our initial kind of like how we do things, or how I do things in Space Engineers, there's no right or wrong way. It's just how I do it. But going over some basic stuff, I left the Earth, and headed to Mars. I head to the moon first, I think. Yeah, I headed to the moon first, and because that's what you do. Is first place you go to after you leave Earth is the moon, and the next place you go to is Mars, because you know, U.S. space program, yada yada yada. So I got here by the time I had added a bunch of the combat mods. So, in particularly the assertive combat systems and assertive bases. So as I traverse Mars, new bases will spawn up, and so we get a little bit of fun with, you know, where are you going? Come here, you. So we're getting a little bit of exposure of what like combat stuff feels like, and as soon as we got here, there's a couple faces. Let's see if Bob grabs this. He's not doing anything, which bothers me. There he is. There he is. Saw him. Ah, now I hear him. Yeah, so this is definitely a scenario where you want to use Bobs when you're doing survival mode in a stream, and you don't want to have people sit through you grinding a bunch of stuff. But this being Space Engineers, you need stuff. So yes. yeah, so we've in previous couple of episodes we've taken out a couple bases. And, you know, last week this one as well. Also, I've crashed quite a few fighters in the process of doing so. There's a ladder here. Can I go down here at all? Oh, I don't think so. No wonder I didn't see the Bobs. He's been probably clearing out whatever was down here. Did not know this was here. Or maybe I did. I can't remember from what happened last week, last time, because it was like a month ago. At any rate. Oh, I think I did. And I think I'd already been started grinding out. I think I just missed that one cargo container. So yeah, we been doing combat stuff, and
Inventory full.
it's been pretty light so far, so I haven't get in trouble. Our goal is right now is to get to Olympus Mons on Mars, and I'm waiting for. I'm kind of doing this because one, I'm kind of recapping where we left off, and two, because I am going to go. I'm waiting for the storm to kind of ease up a bit before I move on too far. I want to. So one of the things that I'm going to do
Energy
is show.
low.
Block's coming at me. One of the things that I wanted to do, and it was something I wanted to do last week, and I don't know if I ever got a chance to do it because I tend to get busy and I forget where I'm at. Is show the, I don't want to say cheat mode, but a method when you're trying to figure out where you need to be and stuff like that. So we've seen me multiple times using spectator mode to kind of look at something or get moved around, stuff like that. What we're gonna do here, and I'll let Bob chew on that for a hot second while I go into this. So we need to get to Olympus Mons. We don't know where it is. Now, normally I would just drive around and try to use the terrain and what have you. But that could take a really long time, particularly if you take a really wrong turn. So what I'm gonna do is sit down here. Gonna hit Alt F10 and actually no, I'm just gonna exit out of that. I'm gonna hit F8, which puts me into spectator mode. And I'm going to now, one of the things is that people get confused on, and this is kind of something that is I want to highlight a little bit more. So you see how I'm moving slowly? If I hold down Alt and scroll on my mouse in upward directions, you'll see I'll speed up. If I scroll back, I slow it down. But here's another thing, so let's get out of here. Alright, so the ship location. So now we can kind of see the planet. Next thing I want to show is like, so see how this is moving really pretty well. If I hold down Control and scroll down, you'll see that the movement has slowed down. If I do that, so I'm moving it, but I'm holding Control and then scroll up, you'll see it's getting a lot faster. So that's so Control and scrolling in spectator mode changes how quickly you can turn your head, whereas holding Alt and scrolling changes how fast you can move forward and back. So what I want to do is kind of look for Olympus Mons from the standpoint of how do what do I need to do to get there? Not gonna do anything super cheaty, you know, like that, but this is kind of cheaty just because we're using spectator mode to kind of figure out where we need to go. So we're gonna look around here, and I think it's this one, not this one. I think it might be this one over here. Yeah, that looks right. And one of the ways that I can tell, when you get kind of down here, you'll have a weird shelf around it, which this one doesn't look to have it, but it's also really dark, so I can't see. So we'll keep that one in mind. Another thing to do is when you scroll out really far, you can see which one's taller, and it looks like it might be this one. Hard to tell. There's 3 of them, so it's either this one or that one. But if I was to get right about here and scroll back, yeah, it looks like this one here is just based off the atmosphere, is probably the bigger one. I'll be able to check better when it's daylight out, but I think that might be it. So. Oh, actually, no, that's the one right there. Yep, that's it. Yes, that's very much it. And this is how I can tell is that it will have this very distinct shelf around it. So that's where we want to head. Now, here's the problem. If I go to the top of this and I kind of look at this through the, I scan back at this through the world, we are basically pretty far away from it. So if I get to ground level, we're 100 some odd, and it looks 100 some kilometers away. So I'm gonna just kind of scroll. I'm just gonna kind of do a quick fly around here, figure out if I'm even facing the right direction. So it looks like we kind of need to head away from where the sun currently is. Let me get up here. It's still like storming really bad. Okay, that's my marker. That's the rover over there. So look on this, we're kind of pointed in the right direction. We kind of need to head kind of back the way we came, back to the ship, and then head the other direction. So obviously we went the wrong way when we left there, so now we're going to have to course correct and head back. So once we get done cleaning up here, we're heading back to the ship and then beyond it, and hopefully it won't take 20 odd streams to kind of get there. It's a long road, and there's going to be a lot of enemies that spawn in the process. But first, clean up. Don't know if you're waiting on a formal invitation on the rest of this or what. There he goes. Just getting lazy in his old age like me. Yeah, so this stream is gonna start turning into the hopefully not too bad, but the constant rover stream. Hopefully it won't take too long. Let me say it. Alright, now that we've cleared out this hole, how do we get out of here? There it is. There's the door.
Inventory full.
Alright, one of the things I want to do while Bob's doing that, I need to check this inventory and figure out how we are doing in our total amount of crap that we're holding on to. Okay, I want parts in there, so these parts need to go. Some of this. So yeah, cargo 1's my parts, cargo 2 is my ores and ingots. Good to see we have a decent amount of uranium and what have you. Alright, how are we doing? Oh, some more stuff. Bob is always busy. Okay, look, fairly organized. Bob will ruin that very, very quickly, but we're, at least for the moment, we're organized. Oh, we left some notes. Mining, magnesium, cobalt, take out bases. Well, what's the story with cobalt? I think we're actually pretty decent. I know we're pretty decent in magnesium, I thought. 543. That's pretty decent. Anything over 200 is pretty good. Not where we want to be, but where we are. Cobalt at 1K. It works. It's not super great. We'll probably want some more, so we can look at that's our components. Yeah, we still have like a certain amount of components we need to be able to make 2, but mine is we got to get the metal grid count back up. I think this is this was my ores in the past, and I turned it into a to-do board. Actually, oh yeah, I put them over here, just ice, but we got a decent amount of ice. Let's see where we're at with this building. We can move forward. Come on, Bob. AKA, take your sweet ass time. So, one of the things that if you watch other streamers, which I'm sure you probably do, is that a long-standing bug that wasn't a bug until like the last 6 months, a year is like when you're grinding down a station, if you grind everything around a part, that part's supposed to go into basically a loose condition, but it's not been happening. You can grind, you can make a base, you can actually make a stack of 3 blocks. I think I actually have stuff to, on me, but I have the stuff to do it. Let's fix that. Okay, let's blocks. Get some blocks. That'll work. Bob will probably clean this up right away, but actually, no, I can fix that. That. Right, so if I was set this block, and it's, oh, no, I'm still touching it, you jerk. So place this block, and we place this other block and stuff like that. Now these blocks, because that first block is in station mode, this block is not. So what can happen is, and this is a great example, so I put that there. Now, if I grind away this block, the other block falls. But if I grind away these two blocks, those blocks stay floating because they're still in station mode. It's supposed to be when that one block gets removed, these are supposed to go into a non-station mode, basically a rover ship mode, but they don't. They just hang. And some people have gotten rightfully so frustrated from it. It's like, because it wasn't always broke. It's only been broke since I think it was the Warfare 2 update, one previous to the last update that we received. Okay. Oh no, I think this might have crashed. It did. So another problem I've been having lately too is it's been crashing a lot, and I have not solved what that problem is. Be right back. I'll reload this. I checked a couple of things. I've actually had logs that literally have come up with nothing in them. Some of them with some kind of render issues. One of the things I do need to check is actually the drive that the game stores to. That's where I've left off currently is that the other thing is there might be a mod that's kind of getting into us, but I don't have a lot of mods on this one actually. Before I get back, let's I want to check what my mod list is for this to see if there's some commonalities into other thing that I've been doing. Actually, now I'm gonna, so I can show this, I'm gonna go back into active screen. So this is the save, and I loaded it. So one of the things I've noticed is this game has been loading really, really slow, and it's very reminiscent of how it was around this time a year and a half ago or something like that, where the loading times seem to be really slow at times and getting a lot of crashes, and then you had an update and that went away. All right, let's get out of here again. Exit. No. All right, load game. This game, edit settings, mods. So as you can see, I don't have a lot going on. The sneaky sounds I've used all the time: ore detector, build info, build vision. Those are pretty standard. Rotary airlock, nanobots, boarding ramp, which I've talked about. I think I've shown. I don't have it's used on the big ship. Realistic skybox is one I use all the time. I mean, that might be buggy if something got changed, but modular MES and assertive and the bunkers is the only kind of combat ones that I've loaded. And so unless it's one of, you know, this one is like universal and no one's complained about it. So and these two, now I know that the ACS has been recently updated and stuff like that, so that might be a problem. But yeah, there's not a whole lot in the way of mods on here, so I got a feeling it's not mod related. And you know, the exit updates, like this one crashed, it didn't even go, it stopped. I didn't even get the notification it was sending an error anyway, or it didn't pop up with that I could see didn't pop up, because usually what it'll say, half the time it'll say, oh, we got a bad thing from the video card, you know, you're gonna have to restart the game, turn off any overclocking or special settings. And it's just like, well, I'm not doing that. So anyway, we're back. Let's see. Oh man, all the way back from when this base was not ground down yet. Sad kitty. Now there is one commonality, and it's a mod that of where I have these consistent crashes that I'm kind of apprehensive to remove, the build and repair.
Low health.
Ow! It's like thunder, lightning, everything you know, it's frightening. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Jeez. I know what it is. Hit the wrong button. So I recently remapped the hotkeys on my mouse, and I basically added some. So now my hand has this desire to want to use these hotkeys for just everything instead of they're set for. So I have 3 buttons near my thumb. I turned one into a walk mode, so I don't have to like always hold down on the W key when I'm playing. I can use the, well, actually it's the forward and back keys I have on my mouse, which walk forward, walk back. And then I added the function key to the thumb button, which is handy because the fact is that there's times when I'll be just playing for funsies, my hand's getting really sore, which is kind of crazy. All right, so scooch over here. BF done. Get you some, Bob. Okay, enough of that tomfoolery. Alright, now we need to head back to the ship. Actually, I need to get the stuff out of my inventory. And yeah, and this is, I still have the goofy stuff. Drop that over here. That's just guns. There we go. Speaking of tanks, I need to fill this one. Alright, down the hall. Yeah, looks like we're heading in the right direction. I'm just gonna be cautious. There's a storm brewing out there, which reminds me, to... Oh, no, don't go... No, backwards. Health. I do need to visit the med bay at some point. Come on. Right, hopefully we can manage this hill. How long will this storm last? Probably a while because I've had to reload this twice. Oh yeah, I'm glad I turned that little bit, which reminds me, that needs to get turned on. Irons. Set to anything ridiculous now. Ridiculous mode is off. What's our ore state here? Iron's actually pretty good, so we don't need that. Ice, I think we're good there as well. 166, yeah. We don't want to get too overloaded on ice, since we don't need it since we're running reactors. Let's see. What else have we got going on? Nice and iron. Gold. What's the story with gold? It's probably really deep. Unlike me, I'm not very deep. Alright, so I think we're over it now. And our current drill's not going to reach it. Yeah, because it's super deep. Our drill can do like 50, maybe more like 40, maybe even just 30 surface stuff. And so to kind of dig down that deep, it might not be worth it, particularly if we don't need it, because I'm not going to build a jump drive on this thing, and I don't really know of anything else that really needs gold. Some of this GPS, I don't need that one anymore. Culverts. Don't need that one anymore as far as I know. I'll just need that one. Beacon's going crazy. Yeah, that's better. Now I don't have a HUD full of... You don't necessarily have to turn all your GPSs off, but man, it really helps if you just turn them off as opposed to deleting them. And, you know, just click on it, double click on it, and it puts it on. Double click it, turns it off. You can see that here. Remember also, if you're going to do something like mess around in menus when you're in motion, make sure that you're got it forward facing. Okay, another research base, 5K out. Not in our direction. We're only going to deal with the stuff that's going to be straight ahead. Damn, the torpedoes, full speed ahead. One of the things that I said I wasn't going to do in these streams is like spend a significant amount of time just like building something like a command carrier or, you know, have an entire stream where I'm driving across the desert. So I don't know. I might do a fast forward thingamabob on this. But it was more about combat, and we should, as we travel, we're gonna cross the magic 6-7K line quite a few times and have some glorious battles. So I'm gonna carry it out at least. We'll see how this episode goes, and it will kind of give me some insight as to whether or not I want to keep going, or if I'm gonna kind of, oh hey look, we've traveled X amount of kilometers offline. As he waves his arms in a clown-like motion. Big hill. Big hill. I'm not sure if this is gonna make it. We've been getting heavy. Yeah, it's not having it. Come on, turn the corner. Turn the corner. You can do it. Let's try. We'll traverse this way a bit, and then we'll switch back the other way. And why is this storm still going? This storm is like forever. It's the forever storm. And that, my friends, is why you put a decoy on the back of your ship. Actually, hold on a second. Hold on. One quick sec. 659. I'm gonna stop and check this out. Because one, I don't think we need silver. We could use silver. That gold ore is really shallow. Much like me. No, just kidding. It may not be of value to. Let's take this out and see if we can. Yeah, see, 48, 47%. It's potentially 42, 45, 44, 42, 46, or something. Now, I have, it's 42. I've got 1 up and 3 down. I can almost get to that. I might be able to scrape the surface. But what I could do is also, let's see, where is it? Should probably keep this right there. Let's stand in the hole, and we'll enter /GPS. That'll just do a basic default one, and then we might mine this. Yeah. Better than waiting for a rock. Cause even if I don't get down to it, I'll get far enough where there might be an advantage where I can just hand drill, and toss it into the drills themselves. What we want to do is line up our drill. do that is that we have that light on the back. Let's get, there we go. So we have that light right here. And we just put it right over the hole. That marks a good spot. Now we're going to jack this thing up to lock it in place. This is something I learned because I had so many times in the past where I've done like these large drill rovers and it starts shaking for some reason. You never figure out why, and it's just like running the drills on tires just seems to make the grid sad. So, alright, and we're locked. So now we head to our drill control room. Alright. So what we need to do is remove the rotor lock and the hinge lock and reverse the hinge a little bit. Let me get a head start. It's pretty good. Now we're going to do this. And we're going to turn our drills on. Hinge is zeroed out, so we'll lock that. And our rotor is at 100%, so we'll lock that. And turn that on and turn the rotation on. Take the lock off. So we're a little higher than normal. Let's check drill. Okay, that's going forward, that's forward, and this is going back. Okay, so they're operating. So we go to our control room and we take a look at our drills, and sure enough, our drills are moving. We're probably going to end up with a lot of stone. Yes, that's smart on me. I locked the back door. So horses need to go to the airlock. So that's working on that. What I'm going to do, place a block on there. I'm going to go try to find the silver that was supposedly over here and start mining a little bit of that. If I can't find it, which seems to be happening, what I can do is go up here. Ore detector's already on. Okay, so the silver is basically perpendicular to us, but what we're going to do is antenna rotor. I never put an antenna on the antenna rotor. These are the kind of things that happen. there's my rotor. Yeah, it got built without the... So we do that, do this. And then 2, 7, 6. Oh, I know that sound. That's the sound of Bob eating one of my wheels. I can almost guarantee it. Well, it looks like I have all my wheels. Why do I hear the grindy noise? I don't know, but for safety's sake, Bob, you're going back to... Oh, well only. Now I'm gonna check the wheels on foot. All right. Looks like we got them all here. Looks like we got them all there. I don't know. It must have been an audio glitch. Also looks like that storm's finally breaking. That's nice. Okay, now let's see if we can, oh yeah, I gotta configure that antenna. Okay, and let's go here, copy this, do this, and broadcast radius 5,000. Let's cut that down to say 500 for right now, because we don't need to stretch out that far. There we go. So now we can see. Go up here. Actually, what I think I'm gonna do is start here. A little bit farther, but I think I can come in flatter so I can walk back and forth in case I lose hydrogen in my bottle. And the lights on the rover are so bright I haven't even turned my headlights on yet. Passing by some gold. I don't top of my toes hurt. Oh, must be the socks. Oh, here we go. That's gold, not silver. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm not proud.
Inventory full. Inventory full.
Actually, instead of going all the way up, I'm gonna do what I usually do, which is I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna dig a slurry hole So I can go over here and just dump that in there. Alright, there's this over. Back on the hunt. So a couple loads of this while the main ship is, main rover is drilling.
Inventory full.
And I can get myself into a pretty decent state with both. As it is, I'm probably going to have to end up hand mining a certain amount of gold as well. Huh. No slag in any of that. This is ground deployed, so I should have, yes I do, I have my easy access piston. Make sure everything's put away properly. Put you there, and you there, and you should be over here, and you should be down here. Okay, now we'll make another trip. So let's see how our pistons are doing. I'm doing fine. So let's make sure there's not any kind of weird depth settings. It's happened in the past where it's like, I think it's done, and then I go and look, and all the depth setting is like only goes halfway. Drill. Down 6, 10, 10, 10. 0. Okay. I feel I'm close enough that Bob is actually picking up my scrap as well. Yep, he is. That's funny.
Inventory full.
Now to get out of the hole. let's see how the pistons are traveling. They're at 8 currently. How's our inventory? Doing all right. Little full. For some reason, I think my ice went up, or was I looking at something else? Nope. Very unusual. All right. I'll let you look at the drills for a hot second. I just have to run into the other room real quick.
Energy low.
Okay, that's better. And I came back just in time. Some lady is telling me my energy is low. She may be right. One of the things I was noticing I was noticing this weekend is like Steam's doing like their summer sale, and it's you know, a pretty tasty kind of period of time to pick up some games. I only know this because I picked up like 3. My problem with the Steam sales is that when they happen, and you just like titles you have on your wish list and stuff like that, and you see like 70% off or something like that, or 65% off, so you buy them. But then, because you're getting kind of so much at once that you kind of forget to even play or install them, and then you have like this plethora of games you haven't played, which I have a lot of, and because one, I have a serious space engineer addiction, but 2 is just that of the other games I do play, I tend to kind of like, you know, they're good games. This is the reason why I was looking at them in the first place, or why I installed them, and so I don't ever, and then I don't know, there seems like I'd be such a risk in playing something new, because you might not like it, or you might, you know, like it too much or something. You never know. Ones that I picked up, one I've watched a friend of mine play. I found it really interesting, really wanted to play it, but I am historically bad at paying full price for video games. I was like, I'll avoid it like the plague. And because I know this is like, I'm not going to get to it right away anyway, so I might as well wait until it goes on sale. Midnight Suns went on sale, deep sale, and finally picked that up. You know, because when it was out, it was just like $70 for just the base game or something like that. And I think I got it for like 17 or 20, something like that. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm doing this. I didn't get any of the DLC stuff yet, which I'm not.
Inventory full.
I can wait on that. It's not necessarily a moral imperative for me to get like all the DLCs for stuff. It's better for me. It's probably better to play the game at once. I know there was one that was, and I don't remember what it was, but I know there was, when I was looking through the DLCs, there was one and I was like, yeah, I want that. So we'll see. But I'm hoping to actually get some time with the game, and I may record it for posting later, like you do, later this week or next. I've got a limited time, because ironic, I go on a 2-week camping vacation very shortly, and so yeah, there will be. I have to work. I haven't even worked out like how much of stream days I'm missing. I'm going to. So I'm back this week, hopefully for both. I'm hoping next week. Let me actually do something crazy and unusual. Let me pull up my calendar and look. Load butter. All right, there we go. All right, so got this weekend, next weekend. So Sunday stream tonight, Sunday stream next week, one after that, and then 2 weeks off, and then I should be back again. And hopefully, there'll be occasional misses here and there, but I should be. This is the last one of silver I'll get. I'll just do gold for the rest. Hopefully I won't miss too many more after that. I mean, the upside too is also is that fall is coming, and so my schedule won't be so busy. So busy. Yeah, it's the
Inventory full.
this 2-week camping trip I do every year, and you know, to go camping, even if it's glamping, you know, that very like RVs and stuff like that, but even that, but camping it's much different than like just traveling to another city. You know, when you go pack a bag, you got your like toiletries bag, clothes for what you need, and a way to entertain yourself if something comes up. That's really like, I know a lot of people that like hem and haw to a major extent on. All right, did this reach the gold at all? No. But what I can do is turn off the drills. Drill head off. Drill head rotor 0. Alright, so how far off are we? Not too bad, not too good. So I can actually just
Inventory full.
see how much I get. Not a whole lot. So this is the same thing. I might not do this at all because it's this thin vein crap. It's very ugly.
Inventory full. Inventory full.
Come on, get out of the hole. Let's see. Oh, a second. Is my refinery even on? It's on. How about the modules, speed modules? Those are off. I'll turn those on. So check. I should have some power modules on here. That should be on. Speed will help. Yeah, it's super thin. It's, I don't even know if it's even worth the heartache.
Inventory full.
Alright, let me check that other hole and see what that. Because this looks kind of wasteful. So this looks a little bit bigger.
Inventory full.
Let's see how that turns out. Slightly better. I think that this might not be worth all of the pain and suffering. Well, we got the silver. I'm gonna give up on the gold. I don't see the value in trying to get it right now, or I can probably, in floating around, get it from mass trade, and I don't need it yet. What I really need to do is go back to the moon base, because I got a feeling, it's been a long, long time ago, I might actually, instead of doing this, I got another idea. But first, let's do one thing at a time here. Let's really go back to the other end. Turn my light off. Alright. We need to reverse the hinge, the pistons. Okay. Drill. Roll rotor says that's the drill head rotor, and I'm going to set that at a speed of 0.5. That's not what I want. 0.5. Reverse that. Nope, it's going up. I don't understand. Add some. Oh, I know what happened. Let's do. All right, now let's try reversing that. It's going that way. This is going that way. There we go. That was making sense. It's just kind of floating because I accidentally turned down the torque on it. What is it supposed to be? Oh yeah, it's supposed to be. So copy that. Cancel. Go here. There we go. Oops. Let's change this to 0.1 and reverse. Get this zeroed out first. Okay, now let's this is and back up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speed up the process, change this from the 0.01 to negative 0.5. Change this one to 0.5. Get that up. Okay, now I am going to unlock this and unlock that and hit that. It's really fast. And unblock that one. Drill. Speed is a little high. Let's drop that back down to 2. I think I might have changed it by accident, but we're good to go and we're stowed. Alright, let's head back up front. We're gonna head back to the ship because I have a plan. First things first, gotta get off these jacks. 9 and drop. Good, that's good. Break off and forward. We're gonna be super heavy now, so we're gonna have to kind of be mindful about that. Ship's location is behind me. Looks like a pretty epic hill, but so I think we'll go back this way. Come on. It's gonna be wild before we get any daylight, so we're gonna have to do this all kind of blindish. Now we're gonna trying to find like the smoothest, least aggressive path up this hill. And I've got a lot of room because, you know, the ship's 8K away, so. But I'm heading away from it, so that's can't be good. Come around, come on. Problem is you lose so much velocity in just the process of turning the tires. So let's get a running start. See if we can get this thing up this pig up this hill. You want to go up the hill. Little farther, keep going. Oh, you're so close. Picking up speed. Might have a chance. This could be it. This could be the one. We made it. Whee! And the crowd goes wild. Epic hill. I feel like this is just going to be a recurring theme. Actually, it's not too bad. Well, guess we're doing a little bit of combat because that sucker jumped right in between us and the ship. Fortunately, we've got to drive right at it, so I'm gonna get off the throttle first. We're gonna hold station right here. Yeah, that's pretty flat. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look outside and see how how dark it really is. I don't wanna. I've learned my lesson. Don't fight at night. Just want to see, like, I want to take a look at, like, how dark it is. All right, we won't do anything right now, but keep in mind that if it does launch, keep an eye out for if it launches drones at us, and then we'll get the fighter up. What's our story here? Oh, we're getting through some of that stone. That's good. Take you out and put you in and turn that off. I do know the mods that a mod that I'll add may potentially add next week, but I'll hold off on saying anything until next week, just to make things a tad more interesting. Plus, this is a part of testing. It's getting a little brighter out. We might not have to wait too much longer. It takes about, what did I figure it was? It was about 15 minutes. Yeah, because it's for each hour. Actually, it's not right. So a day is 2 hours, and so that's 24. And divided by, or 120 divided by 24. That's a lot of math. That's 5-ish. 4, 8, 9. Yeah. So it's a little under 10 minutes for an hour in the game-ish, I believe. But we can tell it's getting a little bit bright out. You just need enough to be able to see. Like, lights on, even on putting lights on the fighter, which I don't think it has. But even putting lights on it, it doesn't really help. Because unless the lights throw like 2K away, you really can't see when you get any kind of altitude. Yeah, I don't have any lights on this thing. Namas. Yeah, it's. Why is there ore in the cockpit? Seem to have this crap everywhere. Okay. All better now. Gun check. Turret. Moreover, scaling turrets are off. Want those on. Want those on. That one's already on. Okay. Now we're ready to start some trouble. Okay. That went too well. Yeah, well, there's a price to be paid there. Oh man, and they're shooting freaking missiles at me. God dang it. He hit me. Got me on the back end. This fighter is not gonna hold up. I'm already running really low on ammo. That's it. Alright. Time to head back. Hopefully the turrets on the frickin' rover can hold them off. Turn on the bob. No, the bob's on. How bad am I? Not too bad. I've had worse. Man, by the time I saw him, it was too late. He, like, ramrodded me. Just, like, literally right in the face. Punk ass. Let's say I wasn't gonna. You little bastard, come here.
Inventory full. 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 Inventory full.
Ah. Get in there. There we go. Alright. Can't believe this thing is still up. Where are you? Yeah, that's what the part I was waiting for. It's like, can't believe you haven't ran out of hydrogen yet. Minute the sentence comes out of mouth, runs out of hydrogen. Ah. It's doing that thingy. Alright, so, yeah, so what we need to do is get some of that tasty, tasty ice. First, let's drop that off. And thrusters off, backing off. Question is, oh, you have tanks, and they are filled. Okay. Next thing we want to do is check to make sure, check where we are with parts. Feel like there was, oh, we got a bunch of metal grids, so that's okay. I don't know where these things came from. Must have been off the base. Get rid of that. Looks like we did end up with a little bit of gold. 101. So we can do something if we need it. Okay, well, Bob's working on getting that repaired, and while that is filling up fuel, I can clean up the backyard. Oh, you explode. Yes. It seems that the new action now is every time you grind a remote control block of enemy ships, it explodes in your face. So if you're not trying to recover the parts, go for that first. If you are trying to recover the parts, if you need them desperately, which I don't, so it's not a big deal. But if you want the parts, you got to make sure to actually avoid that. Unless you're trying using the mod that you use for hostile takeover mod, then you'll want that. So many loose parts. This must have been where I was grinding it off while it was floating above me. So one of the things that I've noticed is, particularly fighting all these drones, is like, one, some of the designs have changed, which is really cool. They've been a little bit harder to take down at times.
Inventory.
But the other thing I noticed is that they use a lot of small blocks. What I mean by that is they make really cool shapes, but it's out of a lot of very small kind of, you don't have any, it's not very blocky, and it's very spiky. This is all heavy. How rude. Coming at me with like ship covered in heavy armor. I appreciate the free cobalt though. Metal grids to be more specific. That looks pretty clean. Still waiting. Having it fill on its own is a long process. Thruster. Whoa. Want you. So that I can dock this thing. Oh. What about the camera? Do I have that? Now, Bob can focus on that, and I can move this thing towards that installation. Okay. Other than some big hold, I think I got pretty much everything. Thankfully, it looks like the rover isn't too worse to wear. It helps is that you have a lot of guns on this thing, so. So one of the other projects that I have that I'm working on in my off time, which I gloriously do not have, is I'm working on changing around the recording setup that I currently use to kind of offload some of that work to another computer. I haven't completed it yet, but it's planned. I have all the parts. Just gotta find the time to futz with it. I think the reason why I've kind of been blowing it off is that part of it involves me crawling around my back behind my desk and stuff like that. And I was like, that sounds gross. Keep going. Okay, that should be pretty good. Right, now while Bob's working on the thing, oh, let's take this out of Bob. Take you out of weld only and put you into weld before grind. Work on stuff. It's getting along pretty quickly. What was the ore detector on that? Yeah. Alright, let's see what's going on in here. Because of reflection, I can't see a whole lot. Let's check the other window. Don't see anything that wants to shoot me dead. But they're not going to take any chances. I think I'm going to use the automatic. Yeah, this one. Need to drop off some of this garbage. Or not. Jeez, Pete's. Come on. Here, Bob, grind something. Oh, this guy doesn't have any power, so the door's turned off. This right here is the reason why you'll see people cover their ships indoors. Basic tools. Flame sauce. No. Another welder. Alright. I think that's everything up here. I think we're not going to use the ladder. Power's off, so in theory, if there's a gun down here, it would be powered off. I think we're clean. Start back here. Some bottles. GPS gun. Bottles. Here it is. Yeah, that's a weird design choice.
Inventory full.
Oh, figured out it's coming. So I grab all of the guns and ammo and stuff like that, even though it's probably little value to me. Mostly just because I'm a scavenger by trade, but also as is that I, when I try to clear a spot, it makes it easier to know what I've taken or where I've been. Because if I just leave it in there, then I'll end up checking it 2 or 3 times. And I always take out the freight containers, but I leave the other ones behind so that because there's sometimes a structural piece. So it says loot, but they're empty. Actually, lockers. There we go. Okay, left hand roll after the right hand roll, make sure I got everything there. And looks good. Now, that was showing red. I'm interested. Strange. Nothing fell. Alright, we're not gonna wait around to grind down this whole thing. We don't need the material. There's nothing of importance that I can tell anyway. It's usually like any kind of like grav gen or something like that. It's got this gravity components in it. Anything that's gonna have like grav components, reactor components, or superconductors. That's how you're rare, made out of mostly your rare materials. Alright, let's head back to Mars Base Central. Oh, hit the brakes too hard. In other words, shouldn't have hit the brakes. Let's see. Damage anything up front? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Just checking this hole to see if there's anything of value in it. Normally I don't care too much about scrap, but I'm looking for where it may have dropped ammo, because it's really hard sometimes to delineate scrap and ammo. These look like they're all scrap. This is. I used to kind of. It was like, oh, scrap, and then just went. But then I found when I started doing that, I'd pick up stuff like missiles and Gatling ammo. And now that we have such a plethora of different types of ammo, it can sometimes pay off to kind of go. And if you walk up to something and it's scrap and you're like, oh, and then you just leave it, then you're gonna go and you're gonna look at it and it's like, oh, did I check that spot? Did I check that spot? Keep asking yourself that question and it drives you nuts. Whereas it would have been quicker to just pick it up. Depends on the person. I'm just saying for me. Home. Crap home. Let's see. Keeping an eye on the road while I'm futzing around in here. To my extensive library. Here, I thought I grabbed like 4 bottles out of there. I only have 2. Strange and unusual things. Interesting. Wondering why my Bob is working on shift. Long time no see, Bob. Let's check. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have a Bob on board this thing. Alright, where are we looking? Batteries are 100%, more than what anyone can ask for. Hydrogen is a little low. Oops. What's your story? Got some ammo, got some stuff. Doesn't look like we have any ice on board. It might be a thing we have to do before we leave. Okay. So, it being midnight, and granted I did start a half hour late, but I am going to try to finish on time because I have some other stuff I need to do. So what we need to do for next week is we need to set up something. Where is the port on this thing? I think we packed up the rover already. slid it right in a little corner there. Got him anywhere else? Oh, yep, got him up top. Okay, so what we need to do is set up a big ass drill so we can pull some of the get some of the ice in the area loaded up on board. And that way we can beat feet out of here. So what I was thinking of on the drive over here is that it would be kind of boring to just well, not totally boring because of all the bases spawning, but it wouldn't be super exciting to watch me kind of rotate around here. Plus I need to go back to the moon base because I know that I left a bunch of stuff to be refined, so I want to go grab that, and then what we can do is just fly over to Olympus Mons, check it out, go, this is it, but then move on to other planets, because that was kind of the main goal here, is just to check out all of the kind of weird and unusual planets that we have here and kind of showcase them, so, and deal with the craziness that happens along the way. I want these. I'm gonna seed, so I can't, and then I'm gonna grind down these. So one of my new things that I do with the game is when I'm playing, because Splitsy's kind of the curator of the assertive acquisitions mod, and one of the great things that they have done is put a bunch of different like phrases in these tablets, so I collect them as like a library. Or, and I'll just grind down the rest of that stuff. Inventory. Yeah. Here, some. And don't need any of this. I'll keep that one. This is all. Alright, let's go over here. Go here. Grab that. Got 2 parts in my fighter comp bag again. Put the gun back. This one over here. I think I have spare tools here. Yeah, I don't need that one. That can go away. That I can't do anything with. It's one of those. There. Okay. And let's go back over here. Bunch of garbage in the fighter. That's where those oxygen bottles went. That's in the fighter for some strange reason. Put you guys here. Put you there. No, get in there. Alright, this looks good. Okay, and one of the things I want to do is take some of this newly acquired. Actually, let's check how much magnesium we have on board ship first before we start stealing it. Or anything else that it may need. Needs silicon, gold, platinum, and uranium. Seems to be okay on silver. Oh yeah, it's hurting on magnesium. It's good I call that. But the first thing I want to do is go over here. Actually, I think it's over here. And put my collections in my library. Take we'll take about 350 of that. Leave that. It's only 10. Yeah. Take that. Don't need that. I said we needed that. So let's grab all that and see where we're at after. Oh, that's right, I'm full. That should be there. That should not be there. I'm gonna leave that there, but just because I'm gonna grind it all down, there's no reason to keep it. Go here. Little light on the spare parts. I'm gonna have to. So the beginning of next week, I'm gonna have to set up a drill to get some ice on board, but I'm also gonna need to like reconstitute this inventory. Some of this might be able to pull from the rover since I've gotten so many extra parts from there. The rest is gonna have to get populated, assembled, as it were. All right, let's go over here. This, that. Okay. Nappy time. All right. Actually, yeah. All right. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll talk to you again next week. Thanks, and good night.